Good evening, Facebook family and friends. I am Annette. I'm your host here at Coaching You For You. Thank you for joining me this evening. I'm not going to keep you long. Just want to inspire you to share in with us this evening and inhale the inspiration. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about identity theft and authenticity and why it's so important for us to be exactly who we are in good times, bad times, and in different times. But before I do that, I'd like to offer you some hope in that no matter where you are, what you're doing, and how you're doing it, believing in a power greater than yourself is one of the most important things you can do. I choose God. To each his reach. Whatever or whomever you choose is your story. I choose God. And believing in something greater than you helps you be a better person all day long. And of course, I am hydrating with some water here. And I always start out with water and I talk about it on all of my podcasts because I know how very important water is to our overall well being and health. But let's get back to the topic at hand, authenticity. Elisa uh, Robinson Carter, shout out. Keep doing what you're doing. Looking forward to working with you on August the 14th at our first annual Family and Friends reunion. And just want to tell you to keep up the good work. Derek and Jasna at the Ingram Kingdom Mobile Kitchen, do what you do. I'm so very proud of you. Amaris and Jasna, Sister Seasonings, you did the thing. And I'm going to be offering up here a set of the seasonings on our next podcast so that you will have the opportunity to look at young um, entrepreneurs doing their thing and making it happen because it's possible. But authenticity, self authenticity, and why it's so important is because if you cannot be true to yourself, you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are. Somebody posted something last week, I believe it was, that said, you, when speaking to authenticity, that Casey Moore said this week, actually, there were posts last week as well, but this week he said, auditioning available uh, to find yourself. And that in order to do that, you have to look within yourself. So shout out to Casey Moore. He has some phenomenal postings and a book on the way. Check him out. John Day, I want to shout you out before I get started as well. He will be hosting a youth summit on the 31st of July at the Trenton YMCA. How very needed is that? Thank you, John Day. And thank you, Mrs. Day, for allowing Mr. Day to be as active as he is in the community in working with and helping others. But acknowledging who you are, who you really are. Not, see, we get so caught up in grandiose behavior, what the millennials now refer to as posing, that we lose sight of what's really important when it comes to being our full, authentic selves. We want people to believe that we never suffer, we're doing well, we got all the bags, we have all the money, we have all the houses, we have all the love. Nobody does. Life on life's terms happens no matter what you do and how you do it. But in that, I mean that, very simply, we all go through something sometimes. But I promise you this, my experience, strength, and hope. My disclaimer, I don't know everything. I'm simply sharing my experience, strength, and hope. We all go through things. But knowing who you are in the midst of those things makes a heck of a difference in resolving them. Acknowledging who you are, what you are, and how you're really made, what your ingredients are as a person is important. We get caught up in reputation. That's what others think of us. And while I'm at it, let me add this to this. chat. We get caught up in reputations because people have a tendency to either, there's very little in between, rarely. They either put you on the high horse or the high table, or they put you in the ground, one or the other. People very rarely know how to actually get to know folks anymore and who they are, because social media has given everybody the opportunity to showcase the appearance of Hollywood for them and themselves. So being your authentic self is important. It's so very important. Your reputation is not who you are. If somebody makes you think they have plenty of money and they're living their best life flying all over the country, they have a right to do that. Everybody has a right to present themselves exactly as they choose. But how they present themselves and who they may actually be may not be the same thing. And that's what I'm talking about. Don't be so concerned with reputation. Watch what people actually do. There are many folks who are doing some phenomenal things. Watch what people do. Stop being so concerned with reputation. Reputation will destroy you in your mind and in the minds of others. The benefits of being yourself are greater. It allows you to live in alignment with who you really are, and you don't have to pretend. There's nothing worse than pretending. And when you pretend, and when you re-image yourself to meet the approval of others, you have in fact stolen your very own identity. That's right. You have in fact stolen your very own identity. When you image yourself, when you re-image yourself, when you pretend to be something that you're not, or as the millennials would say, when you pose as something or somebody that you're not, you have in effect stolen your identity. And this and what's interesting about all of this is that no matter what you present, that's just your representative showing up when you're posing or when you're not being authentic. Eventually, the real you will show up as well. And that's where a lot of the confusion comes in for folks, because they'll say things like, oh my gosh, I thought this person was A, B, C, D, and E. Don't think who people are, get to know who they are. Give them a chance. It's the best thing in the world. You want people to give you a chance, give others a chance. And here's another thing. When you're succeeding, shout out Italia Armstrong. When you're succeeding and having difficult conversations, it's sometimes very difficult for other people. Succeed and have those conversations anyway. It's important to be exactly who you are. Your values and your belief make up who you really are. I don't care what people say about you. There are some folks that you look at and you think that they're supercalifactuous. And all of you won't get that because all of you don't know what that means. But back in the day, that meant big, 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 and great, great, great. But you look at some people and think they're supercalifactuous, and I can't even spell that anymore. I still spell it. Whatever. I'm 63. I can do whatever I want because I'm retired. But and they're not. They're everybody is common folk. Stop putting people on pedestals. Stop posing as, I don't care if they're elected officials. I don't care where they sit. I don't care what the position is. If you start dealing with people and getting to know them and treating them like people and who they really are, maybe you won't be so disappointed when they don't meet all of your expectations. Just let people be who they are. And in being my authentic self, I can tell you this. I have been misrepresented, misjudged, misunderstood since I was probably 5 years old. And although I wish not to have that, the reality of it is it's a fact. It happens because most people look at me and judge me by what they see and what they think. And as a direct result of that, they refuse to let me live a normal life. For example, and I posted this before, I read it somewhere before, and I thought it was pretty funny, so I'm sharing it. But for me, it was in a different context. I'm in a grocery store, and somebody walks up to me and goes, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And sometimes I'm unfiltered, just like every other human being. I'm hunting elephants. What do you think I'm doing? I have to eat. I have to shop. I'm a human being. Take me off the pedestal and let me live. I'm just as normal, human, and imperfect as the next person. And so I say that because you have a tendency to do that. I was in a laundromat. I had to go to the laundromat because, our washers, well, now today they do. But, a couple of years ago, our washers didn't always accept our huge king size bedspreads. And I'm in the laundromat, and this guy goes, "I never expected to see you here." And I said, "I probably never expected to see you either." I'm laughing about it because I'm thinking like, well, yeah, I'm here. And he said, "Well, what are you doing here?" And I said, "Well, what do people do here? I just never thought you'd be in a place like this." What is a place like this? Stop elevating people beyond the normal, beyond the natural, and then being disappointed when they're human. Me being my authentic self is the most comfortable place in the world for me to be. And my experience, strength, and hope for you tonight is there's only one time I can remember actually trying to fit in. I was dating a guy who was way out of my league, and by out of my league, I mean totally mismatched. Um, and I did a lot of things, to fall in line with the perfectionism that he wanted. I was younger, I was dumber. The first love is the love where it just happens naturally. You're a kid, you go your separate ways, you're happy. The second one, I heard a guy share about this today too. The second one is where, you fall in love and get some bumps and bruises. The third one is where you really get challenged and come to your consciousness. And we all have to come to our consciousness sooner or later. But it's the only time I ever felt like I ever recognized or knew that I did a lot, to try to be pleasing to my partner. Big mistake, big failure, and lessons learned. And then those lessons, blessings. So I tell you, whether it's in a partnership, whether it's in employment, whether it's in your social life, be yourself. Be yourself. It's more important than anything else you're ever going to do except live healthy and love God. Those are the first two things. The third thing is to just be your authentic self. It's okay to be who you are. I'm silly. I like to sing. I tell corny jokes. That's really who I am. It's who I am. I love being with my family and friends. I like being with authentic people. I like people who can talk about um, their failures, their successes, their good things, their bad things, and their indifferent things, and be comfortable with it. I like that because I can do that. I'm perfectly imperfect. And so being our authentic self is healthy for us emotionally because you don't know that you can, you know, uh, mischaracterize yourself so much and present yourself so much in a way that's not really you, that when the real you shows up, sometimes even you're surprised. I've watched it happen many, many times. Just be yourself, love yourself. You really are. That's your superpower, to be your authentic self. That's one of them. I don't know what the other ones may be. Only you know that. But being your authentic self is one of the most important things you're going to do. So just be who you are. Some people are going to like you. Some people are going to hate you. Some people are going to secretly judge you. Some people are going to praise you. People are people wherever you go. And the only thing you have to let them know is that you are authentic and this is the real you. That's it. Give them what you got. Give them what you got. There's a song, I can't remember the words to it, but just give them what you got. It's okay to be who you are. trying to be somebody else's identity felt. And that's where you self sabotage and steal your own identity. That's how you steal your own identity, pretending to be somebody or something else that you're not. Everybody struggles. Everybody has ups and downs. No matter where you land in the world on any given day, the most important thing is that you look up and get up. It's called life. Life doesn't owe us anything. And life is not about everything we want. If that were the case, there wouldn't be wars, there wouldn't be deaths, there wouldn't be people killing each other, there wouldn't be a whole lot of things going on that are going on if life was perfect. It is not. And so, I just want to come in tonight. Like I said, I don't want to keep you too long. I just wanted to say hello. I can't see, so I have to get up close on the computer and look and put my bifocals up. I just wanted to say that being yourself is important. I like people who are naturally who they are, even in all their imperfectness. And so, like me, and like many others, you'll make mistakes, you'll grow. Some people will go, you'll learn, and you'll do the things that you need to do. Just be your authentic self. It is the most relaxing and comfortable place to be in the world because you don't have to put on airs and pretend that you're something that you're not. Imagine the people who pretend every day that they have money and have to try to live up to those expectations. That's a tough place for people to be. I wouldn't want to be there. Imagine the people who pretend that they're happy every day and cry every night. I wouldn't want to be there. I have good days, I have bad days. Some days I cry, some days I laugh. And some days I'm just in between and I'm mellow and I'm just doing my thing. The only person who can shut me down and make me think um, that I'm not doing my best job is my 2.5-year-old grandson who wreaks havoc when he's near. But he's absolutely dear and I adore him. And so, just take your time to be yourself. For men, women will appreciate and respect you more when you're yourself and you're not trying to pretend to be something that you're not. We really do. We respect you when you do that. And men respect women when they present their authentic self. Knowing who you are, what you are, where you've been, where you're going, and the things you need to do can change your life for the better and make you a much happier person. Look in the mirror and figure out who and what you are, where you really are. There are so many people I admire who are just their pure, authentic selves. And they're the same every time you see them. I want to caution you from my experience, strength, and hope that when you're dealing with a person and you see them with some people and they're a certain way, and then you see them another time and they're a different way, go the other way. You can thank me later. Go the other way. It's not worth it. And be good to yourself. And that's the absolute last thing I want to say to you. Just be good to yourself. Just be good to you. In the morning, in the evening, just be good to you. And hey, the other thing is, rarely do I wear earrings like this, but they were a surprise gift from somebody, and I promised to wear them tonight. So I hope uh, he's watching and he likes what he sees in these earrings, because I'm going to be who I'm going to be. Have a good evening. Give people a chance to know you. That's another reason why. I said that was the last thing, but I got to come back on this. That's another reason why so many relationships fail, because your representative, you present your representatives and you pretend to be this person that you're not, and then when you finally let your guard down and you come out, it's disappointing to your mate. Avoid the trouble and just be who you are in the beginning. I'm so grateful. I'm just incredibly grateful. I want to wish you all a good evening. For anybody who is in mourning at this time, as my family is, I want to offer you my deepest condolences. Losing anybody under any circumstances is difficult. But when the causes are unknown and things happen, it creates a different type of pain. So I just want to say to every family out there who is suffering and going through changes right now as a result of a loss, that you have my prayers every single day. And it's real simple. I pray before I even get out the bed. And I just ask God, to take care of those who are suffering and to bless those less fortunate. And sometimes I'm suffering and sometimes I'm the less fortunate. We all need prayer. Have a good evening. Be good to yourself. Know who you are. Present your authentic self and just go fall in love with yourself again. It's okay. It's okay to love yourself. Just love who you are.